All right, fellas. Good morning, and it's another great day to be alive, another great day to play football, another great day to be a Cavalier, and I'm so pumped. Boom! We've had a great few days behind us, and now we're looking forward to today and moving forward into the week, which we get to go out and scrimmage. We've done them. We're obviously today in full gear, and since we're going into full gear, I want to cover uniform information. Now, you have to know that every year we sit down before the person in charge of all the officials in our area, and he answers questions and they bring things to point of emphasis. And believe it or not, a lot of times one of the things that's most important that they address is the uniform and how important it is that we are in proper uniform. We get this book right here. It is thick. You guys see how thick it is? I mean, this is a lot of information here. I mean, you can see the text. It's a lot. And this thing, I'm responsible, the coach is responsible to uphold and know. And so when we go out there and we tell them that we are legally and properly equipped, that's what they expect based upon us following the rules in this book. So I can't tell you that the officials are going to be consistent in following this, but I can tell you by the time you get into the playoffs, there's a chance that we're going to get officials that aren't used to our area, and they're going to be sticklers about things. And it is a reflection on us as a coaching staff and as a program when we come out there and we're not in proper uniform. If we go out there and there's a team that's lined up on the other side, dressed nice, uniforms clean and pressed, shoes are all looking good and clean, helmets are squared away, no issues with improper uniform infractions, versus a team that doesn't, imagine what the officials start to think about when it comes to the way that team prepared to play and what type of game we're going to have. And that's one of the reasons why we expect us to be in great uniformity. And so that means that, you know what, when we go out, we're going to be sure as coaches and our staff, the Valentin family especially, takes time to make sure that our uniforms are prepared and prepped so that we each week we go out there clean. We each week go out there looking polished and looking good. We request that you guys clean your helmets, polish up your helmets, clean your shoes the prior night before games. That way you go out there looking like you prepared yourself for a game and you care about the attention to detail. We've also requested you guys all have black cleats. Why? Because it shows a sense of uniformity. When you look at a Penn State and Alabama, for example, those guys all wear the same type of cleats. Now we go with black, just you're aware, above and beyond white cleats, because we don't play regularly on surfaces that promote cleanliness. Okay, if we were always on an artificial surface, or we played on a really great prescription turf surface that didn't get muddy, or we practices on a prescription turf or artificial surface that allowed us to continue to have great clean equipment all the time, then I would say let's go with white and let's make that the uniform. But the reality is it's not the case. The reality is that you guys will not keep white cleats looking white and icy. So we go with black because we can polish and clean them up and look good. So that's why we do that. All right. So let's go through what was discussed to us by the officials so that way you know that I'm not blowing smoke at you guys and I'm not daggone freaking lying or being a stickler for things that aren't important, because the officials make it important whether you like it or I like it or not. So here we go. All right, so first and foremost, okay, I'm going to move myself over to this side, I guess. Yep. All right. So hip pads, tailbone protector, which are unaltered from manufacturers, must be worn. Okay, these are all things that are going to be checked by. That means you can't forget a tailbone. Now, this shouldn't be an issue if you get a 5-pad girdle. Knee pads, which are unaltered from the manufacturer's original design, production, which are worn over the knee and under the pants and shall be at least a half-inch thick or 3/8 of an inch thick if made of shock-absorbing material. So this means that you're not supposed to cut those knee pads down. They're supposed to be small to fit in your pad and cover your knee. Shoulder pads and any hard surface auxiliary attachments, back plates, shall be fully covered by the jersey. So this is why when you guys come out of the locker room and you got your shoulder pads, exposed with the band sticking out and the daggone hoo-yah sticking out, with your jersey up above and your daggone back plate showing off your whole, whatever, the officials start to get on me right away. Coach, you make sure they have that stuff down. I get it, we're not in the game, but I have to listen to that. You imagine, I have to listen to that stuff before the game when the officials get there because they're already scoping out. And again, when they come to me and address that, then they're distracted and not focused on actually calling the game. They're focused on you guys in proper uniform. And it doesn't look good if the other team's already locked in. Pants which completely cover the knees, thigh guards, knee pads, any portion of the knee brace, and does not exceed or extend below the pants. All right, so these are the things that go underneath the pads if you're wearing a 7-pad girdle. All right, forearm pads, which may be anchored on each end with athletic tape, are acceptable. Gloves, which may be anchored with athletic tape, even though modified, should not be anything that's not approved by NOCSAE standards. Okay, so there's a seal that you guys should see. These 2 seals should be on your gloves to ensure that your gloves are approved by high school sports. Next page. Okay, uniform adornments. All right, what are adornments? These are the things that we add extra to our uniform that honestly don't necessarily fit the function of a football player. So they may, but if they do fit the adornment of a football player, they've got to follow these protocols. So let's go into the first one. A moisture-absorbing solid color towel. So that means a towel that you wear must be a single color with no large logos or information on it. So it must not be colored as a flag, a yellow flag, or the color of a ball. All right. It is no less than 4 inches in width. So it can't be less than 4 inches. Listen to me. It has to be 4 inches or more. Okay, not less than 4 inches. Okay, and 12 inches in length. All right. It's no greater than 18 inches in width and 36 inches in length. So it has to fit between 4 inches wide, 12 inches long, and no more than 18 inches wide and 36 inches long. So the little streamer things don't work. They're not considered towels. Now, you might get out there and wear one, and one official lets it go, but another may not. This is the rules. This is what we go by. Please pay attention to this. Okay? Has no more than one visible manufacturer logo or trademarks. This means that you're not supposed to have things on there bigger than 2 1/4 inches long or wide. So we're not putting all kinds of crazy stuff on there. Last year, there's some stuff set out there and had all kinds of stuff on there. And that's why I told people to take it off because of this rule here. I'm not trying to be a jerk. These are the rules. And we're better to get through these rules and understand them now versus dealing with it on game day. Because to be honest with you, nobody wants to have to go through this on game day. Nobody wants these distractions. We should be focused on going out there and playing our best football. Sweatbands. Listen to me carefully. Moisture-absorbing sweatbands, when worn on the wrist, beginning at the base of the thumb, that's here, okay, and extending no more than 3 inches towards the elbow. See that? So from here to here is where we can have a wristband. They're not letting us put anything up here, the one little band things, nothing up here. Okay, that's individualism. It's not necessary. We, of course, will go into another thing. It's not a big deal, but our wristband coaches fit into that. They're fine. But no adornment. So you have a wristband, it's got to go within that 3 inches. Everybody got that? I'm sorry. It's just what the rules are. I'm showing you the rules. I'm not making this stuff up. Page 24 of this book right here, okay? Rib pads, back protectors, again, unless should be protected and covered by the jerseys. Cannot be worn if they're exposed. So the jersey's got to be tucked in and covering this stuff up. Eye shade or grease, which is used to protect our eyes from the sun glare. No glare strips or stickers, okay? That is not a solid stroke, okay? That is not a solid stroke or includes words, numbers, logos, or other symbols within the eye shade. So it's just got to be black. There's no words or symbols that can be on it. The eye shield, okay? So this grease has got to be what? A solid stroke. Boom. Boom. Can't be pulled down. Can't be covered in the face. Once again, you might get one official lets it go. Another will not. But again, if they don't say anything, they're still looking at it because it's a rule. And they're going to say to themselves, why is this team not locked in following the rules? Capiche? Eye shield. I get so many questions about this. It says constructed of molded rigid material or clear without the presence of any tint. No tint. They ask every game. Why is this important, men? They got to be able to see your eyes. If you get hit, they will immediately see that you have eyes that aren't showing any issues of type of head injury. Focus on that. Listen to that. Jewelry. Now, they have rules about religious jewelry. Some people wear a religious band or whatever, and they can't tell you not to wear that. There's specific things that you have to do to have that thing taped up, covered up, okay? Outside of that, nothing else should be worn. No jewelry. It says that. No jewelry. A medical alert indicator, in case you have, some type of allergy issue or religious metal. That's it. Nothing else can be worn. Nothing. Okay? Play cards. We can wear them, but not worn on anything but the wrist or arm. That's illegal. This is telling you what are following other illegal equipment. A play card not worn on the wrist or arm. So if you got the play card on your wristband or on your waistline, it's wrong. And before the game, I'm going to move it during the game. No, have it on. So that way when the officials start coming by and they see it, we are locked in. Why is this all important? Because prior to the start of the game, the head coach shall be responsible for verifying to the referee. They're going to come to me and they're going to say, Coach, is your team properly and legally equipped? And I have to say, yes, we are. And then if they find anything that's not correct or legally equipped, they can substantially pull you out of the game and flag the coach. Not the team, the coach. If I get 2 of those type of flags in a game, I am ejected and can't coach the next week. I don't think that's fair to me or fair to the rest of the team. I get to go out there. Well, I've worked hard all summer. You guys have too. Shouldn't I be out there with you? Think about it. So we go down to the next thing, uniform adornments, the towels. Here is, again, this was a rule reminder just a week ago. The official talked to us about this specifically, rule reminder. So again, I'm not making this stuff up. It's right there. Same thing they want to remind us. Okay. The knee pads, again, rule reminder. I am not making this stuff up. Due to potential injury, it is essential that players only be allowed to participate if the pants and knees comply with the rules. Pants must completely cover the knees, and the knee pads must be worn over the knee. Over the knee. This is wrong. Game officials should be watchful and protective in addressing potential equipment, and more specifically knee pad issues. They're going to be focused on it. This is a point of emphasis this year. Now, it doesn't mean that when you're going out there and you make a play, the pants are going to slide up. That's fine. They might just say push it down. You need to push it down. That's it. You shouldn't go out there walking out there, knees exposed and everything. Guys, this stuff drives me crazy because it tells me who's locked in and focused on the important things of the game and not worried about how they look. They're focused on being protected and playing the way coach is asking you guys to play. And again, here it goes. This is, again, a point of emphasis. To support the safety of all participants, players must wear the equipment and uniforms that are properly fitted and worn as intended by the manufacturer. Before starting each game, the head coach must verify that all players are properly and legally equipped. So, that means it's going to come back to me. And it will affect the team. Please alleviate my stress. And do not do anything that crosses this stuff off. And start with it at practice today. Make sure everything's covered up properly. Make sure your daggone freaking straps from your shoulder pads aren't exposed. Make sure your back plate is covered up with your practice jersey. Make sure your knee pads are covered up. Your knees are covered up. Please listen and take care of these things. Because if we get in the habit of it now, then we'll be fine when it comes game time. This is your uniform protocol checklist, and I am Coach Sneed, and I'm proud to be your coach, but I hate addressing uniform issues. So let's get it right. I can't wait to see you later. I love you, and I'm out. Boom.